If you ever say anything against a minority, you might get downvoted on Steam or Facebook. If you ever try to ask a controversial question or even a simple question, you might get bummed up, bummed out, or something. You might get attacked. That's what was happening to me this week. And this is just the first week of 2019. Just want to tell you a little bit about what happened. Some of it. I'm Oatmeal Joey Arnold, and it's 2019, January 5th, Saturday, 8:43 p.m. And the biggest thing was just getting downvoted on Steemit.com for making a meme of a person, probably a guy, from that GameStop store in that video from last Friday, a week ago, on the 20th of December. I think it was around that time. The person came in and he said, and I quote, "It's ma'am." And a little bit later, he said, "Take it outside. If you want to call me sir again, I'll show you a sure." And he said some bad words. "You mother effer," while saying that. And so, oh man, I just made a little meme about it. So I've been accused of being a terrible person, fill in the blank. I don't know, racist, a deplorable, whatever the Hillary Clinton said before, and other people too. I must be a terrible person for making a meme. So, anyways, just want you to know that I did that, and I just wanted the people to know what he said, and obviously, I support freedom. So that means you can do whatever you want. So you want to believe that you're some kind of robot or something, you can. If you want to believe that you want to change your gender because you feel like it, then you can do it. But at the same time, I feel pretty offended when you say to me that I can't say what I want to say, that I want to say. You know, if I want to say that I believe in two genders, are you going to run at me and scream at me and say, "Sorry, you are not allowed to believe in that"? And a lot of people believe in that, and there's a lot of good reasons why we believe in that. Another big thing that happened to me this week was I posted a little question on Facebook about the Vietnamese New Year, which is kind of like the Chinese New Year. In Vietnam, they call it Tet. They have a little song called Ta 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 Tanzoi Ta 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 Tanzoi Ta 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 Tanzoi Ta Ta Some Timanoi. So the word Tet is it means like the Lunar New Year, according to the moon calendar. So I was asking about that, about how do they like follow the moon calendar, and can they translate a date from the lunar calendar into the Gregorian sun solar calendar, and do they want to do that or not? Because if they want to try to westernize themselves a little bit and learn a little bit of English and follow the sun calendar, then do it. If you want to do it, then do it. But there seems to be a little bit of not consistency, but inconsistency when people say they want to do it, but then they don't do it. They don't go all the way in doing that. Like, if you want to start to become westernized a little bit, then why would you have two calendars and then tell a Westerner the date for their New Year according to the moon calendar instead of the sun calendar, when really the the people that don't follow the moon calendar aren't going to understand it? So then you're just telling them stuff that they don't understand. You might as well just speak in Vietnamese. But if you're going to speak in English, you might as well translate it into the moon calendar. Not the moon calendar, but the sun calendar, in order to tell people about when something is, like the Tet holiday or another Vietnamese holiday. Like, you might as well just go all the way and translate everything ahead of time so that you don't have to go back and forth on the spot every single time a foreigner asks you a question about what something is, especially when you already use a sun calendar anyways. I was trying to ask those type of questions. It's a little bit confusing. Like, even if you know what I'm saying, it can still be a little bit confusing, and even more for them, perhaps for some of them, and more some of them than others. More so some of them, or how do I say that? But anyways, I'm just saying that people complained that I was asking these questions, and they claimed that I was being pretty crazy, or whatever you want to call it. All these kinds of negative things, these bad things, like asking questions is a bad thing. And I was just trying to open up a discussion about thinking about these things, but not in a negative way, but in a positive way, because I feel like an icebreaker is the best thing you can have in the world, and it can make the world a better place and everything. And then the posts were deleted, and then some people are like, "Oh, Oatmeal's deleting his own posts," and I wasn't. But he's like, this guy's like, "Oh, yes, he was." So that's too bad. That's too bad. Those are the two biggest things that happened this week. The thing on Steemit, getting downvoted by people who believe that there's infinite amounts of genders, and the thing on Facebook where people are like, "Hey, don't ask stupid questions." It's like asking, "Is Santa Claus red and white?" Stuff like that. And I'm trying to make my point to say, is there consistency? And obviously, I wasn't trying to tell them what to do, what to think. It's a question, not a statement. And a lot of people will say, "Oh, are you saying that people have to do what you say?" And I'm like, no, because it's a question, and I'm just trying to get people to think about it. And obviously, you can use both calendars, the sun and the moon calendars, together if you want to. But why not think about it a little bit and come up with your own explanation for why you have both? And the answer could be very simple. It could be, well, I use the sun calendar as much as I can, but my parents and my grandparents and a lot of other people in Vietnam, a lot of people in Vietnam, they don't. So I have to communicate with them because they're still using the moon calendar, even though I use the sun calendar, and I do translate it into the sun calendar. Certain holidays and stuff that's written down in the moon calendar, I translate it into the moon calendar, into the sun calendar, but I still use the moon calendar because other people still use it, and they just won't stop using it because they're so old. It's like they use Vietnamese and they don't use English, so I still gotta communicate with the older world because they're not westernized. I am, and that's why I use the sun stuff and English, but they don't, so I have to be in the middle and communicate with both. And that's basically the kind of answer that I was looking for. And if somebody were to say that, I'd be like, okay, thank you. But nobody said it, and they just got mad at me, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" and stuff. They kind of had their own answers, but it wasn't like that. And I thought, an answer like that would be a little bit better. Take it from me, Mr. Know-It-All, but that's all I gotta say. So there's obviously a lot of other stuff that's happening too, kind of a little bit, but I'm gonna stop right here.